Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back for part 2. It's the Coaster Battleman here with my 10 favorite roller coasters according to August of 2018. For the top 25 part 1, I recommend you check that video out. It shows my 25th favorite to 11th favorite roller coaster I've ridden. And these are my 10 favorite roller coasters I've ridden according to August of 2018. Coming in at 10th place is the Beast at Kings Island, and this is one of the most unique roller coasters I've ridden, and it has some pretty cool drops, some pretty fun turns, and some straight sections, which layout-wise that sounds kind of lame to a lot of people, but for me, I really do enjoy this coaster. You're flying through the forest. It's basically just pure adventure for me, and my favorite part of the ride is that closing section with the insane helix section at the end through the tunnel, which you can see in this picture on the right side. You have a pretty cool first drop into a tunnel. You go through a bunch of tunnels throughout the ride, and you have a pretty weird second massive drop going into that helix because the track is angled like you're in a helix, but you're actually going straight, which is kind of a weird drop, but I thought it was a pretty cool one in my opinion. And the Beast, just a cool coaster. It may not be the smoothest ride in the world, but I really do enjoy it. Number 9 is Apollo's Chariot, and this is the B&M Hypercoaster at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and this coaster I really do enjoy. The airtime is fantastic. It has some very nice turns as well, and this coaster is a super long ride. You're flying through the trees as well. This coaster is just such a fun ride, and overall the best coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and one of my favorite roller coasters. Super awesome coaster, and that airtime is just unbelievable, and it's super smooth. Number 8 is Afterburn, and this is the smoothest B&M invert I have ever ridden, and easily the best. This coaster has a very fun drop, super intense inversions, and you fly through a mist effect as well in the middle of the coaster. And overall, this ride is just fantastic. It may not be the longest coaster I've ridden, but this is just a ride that packs so much punch into it despite its low speed and low height. It feels way faster than it actually is, and it's just such a great ride. Super intense, fun inversions. I really love riding Afterburn. I rode this probably like almost 10 times when I was at Carowinds. Super fun ride. Number 7 is Diamondback, and I rode this so many times when I came back for Kings Island, and it got even better than what it was before. The airtime seemed to be a lot stronger than what it was when I rode it in 2017, and this ride just has an awesome drop, elite airtime hills. This is just an awesome coaster, super fun. It has a bit of a rattle to it, but I don't really mind it at all. It's really fun. If you're in the middle seats, you'll have a smoother ride, but if you're on a side seat, you'll have a lot better airtime. So it's kind of a debate which seat's better, but overall, Diamondback is such a great ride at Kings Island. Easily their best coaster. Super fun. Number 6 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point, and this dropped from my number 1 to number 6, so it fell out of the top 5. And that's because some coasters at Cedar Point either got way better or better than this, and I got used to Millennium Force's intensity, and it's super fun still in my opinion. Like, I'm not complaining or nothing about Millennium. Like, this ride is just pure fun. The drop is fantastic. The bank turns are good. Plus, you have that sensation of traveling through time as you go through 2 tunnels. The first one, you travel back into the Jurassic times with all the dinosaurs, and then you come back out to Millennium Force's queue line to that final bank turn, You have some nice airtime moments. This is just a fun coaster. It's a lot better of a Giga than Intimidator 305 in my opinion. Still, after riding I-305, I still prefer Millennium over it. And it's just such a fun ride. Really good ride. Definitely an icon at Cedar Point, and I really do love the station music it plays. Number 5 is Twisted Timbers, and this is the definition of a perfect coaster. Like, this coaster is just fun. It's intense. The first drop is unbelievable. Gives some crazy airtime. The ejector airtime hills on this are just fantastic. You have some sweet bank turns in there as well as inversions. You go through some weird airtime hills through this ride, but this is easily the smoothest RMC, or just flat out smoothest coaster I have ever ridden. Like, the smoothest. It's just unbelievable. I love that drop. And this coaster, definitely the best coaster at King's Dominion by far. All the Intimidator 305 fans, Twisted Timbers is the best at King's Dominion. This is just such a great ride, and seriously well worth the 8-year wait that they have waited for this ride. Number 4 is Maverick, and this is yet again another coaster at Cedar Point, and this coaster is just the definition of awesome. I've gotten used to the intensity, and this coaster has just been awesome. And I finally prefer it over Millennium Force, like a lot of other coaster enthusiasts do. And this coaster has a very fast lift hill, an insane beyond vertical drop, especially if you're in the back seat. You'll get some insane ejector airtime. You have some insane ejector airtime hills, inversions, an awesome launch in the middle of the coaster, just some insane turns. This is just such a powerhouse of a ride. Super long. This is just such a fun coaster. Unbelievable ride. Number 3 is Intimidator, and this is just such a fun ride, especially if you don't get stable. This is just unbelievable. The airtime you get on this thing is relentless. Like, this coaster, it may not be the most intense coaster out there. It's not really that intense, but it's not known for being intense. The airtime is just so strong and fantastic. That first drop is amazing. It felt kind of small compared to another coaster on this list, but this coaster, just the airtime hills are fantastic. You have some very nice bank turns, and overall Intimidator just easily the best B&M hypercoaster I've ridden. Airtime is the best on any coaster I've ever ridden. Like, this is just such a fun ride. Plus, it has a pretty neat theme to Dale Earnhardt, just like Intimidator 305. So, but of the two, Intimidator is way better. Number 2, we have Steel Vengeance, and this is not number 1. You guys already know what number 1 is. But let's talk about Steel Vengeance first. This is just the definition of insane and wild. This coaster has an insane 90-degree vertical drop, the world's first hyper hybrid as well to add that. You have some crazy bank turns, super fast-paced inversions. It's just element after element after element through the structure. This is just such an intense coaster. You have some crazy ejector airtime hills. That ending with the ride, you just jump, like just popping out of your seat, like out of nowhere through those ejector airtime hills. This coaster, no matter what row you're in, you're going to have one heck of an experience, especially if you're in any other train except for the chest train. The chest train's the worst train, but the other 2 trains are just super insane, and this is just such a fun ride. Steel Vengeance, super intense, super powerful airtime, like just, oh my gosh, Steel Vengeance, what a ride. Definitely the best coaster at Cedar Point by far. And number 1 is Fury 325 at Carowinds, the new for 2015 B&M Giga that was added there. And this ride is just so much fun. I rode it over 30 times when I was at Carowinds, because there was no line for it, which was so nice. And this coaster has an insane 81-degree drop, 325 feet tall. You go through a tunnel, you have a treble clef element, you have awesome bank turns, airtime moments. This is just such an all-around fantastic coaster, and it's even better than Steel Vengeance, because it's not the, despite it not being the most intense coaster I've ridden, and not the most airtime filled, it's just basically, like, for me, it's just the perfect ride for me. Like, it's all around. It's just, well, man, Fury 325, easily the best coaster on the planet, the best coaster at Carowinds. Just what a coaster. So much fun. I can just keep talking about it, but that is all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of the top 25 roller coasters I have ever ridden, August 2018 edition. And I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 and part 2 of these videos. And my next video will be 5 amusement parks that desperately need an SNS 4D free fly. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, stay tuned for more videos.